Miss Brooke, and I'm an art educator at the Wiregrass Museum of Art, and today I'm going to walk you through how to create your very own abstract cityscape collage in the style of artist Mary Blair. Now, you may not necessarily be familiar with that name, but I bet you're familiar with her work. And if this doesn't look terribly familiar, how about that? Yes, she was an artist and an animator for the Walt Disney Company, and she started working there in the 1930s with her husband Lee, and her work is very influenced by the culture and the colors of South America. And if you're not necessarily familiar with this ride, you might be familiar with some of the films that she worked on: Cinderella, Peter Pan, and Alice in Wonderland. So why don't you grab those supplies and let's get creating. Now that you've chosen your background page, it's great, but we're going to move that to the side for a moment, and now we're going to focus on the buildings. And we just want the basic building shapes, and you're actually going to use your scissors as your pencil, essentially. So we're just going to cut them out. If you would feel better using a pencil first and then cutting them, you absolutely can. But we don't necessarily need anything perfect. So you just want to think about basic building shapes. You can always trim them up later if you need to. So I want a long, skinny tower, so I cut out a long skinny tower, right? I also kind of want a squatty building that maybe has like 3 stories, so I cut out this kind of square. And then I thought it'd be fun to kind of add a castle gate, since this was inspired by Mary Blair's It's a Small World, so I cut out this rectangular portion. Remember, castle's larger, this is just kind of the gate, so I'll put in some details later. And then again, because this is inspired by It's a Small World, I threw in the Eiffel Tower, and I just cut out a very basic kind of Eiffel Tower shape. So think about the shape of buildings you want and cut those out. And now it's time to start adding details. So think about buildings, think about the doors, think about the windows, think about decorative elements and what you want them to look like. And remember, it's Mary Blair, so bright colors, geometrics, this isn't realistic. So for my long tower, remember that, I thought it would be really cool to add an onion dome. Now, an onion dome is something that we see in Middle Eastern architecture a lot, and it's named an onion dome because it's shaped like an onion. So I thought that would be cool. I thought it would be really cool to add arched windows, and I actually saved my scraps. I cut one of the windows out of here. I thought, wouldn't that be a cool doorway for this building? And then I started thinking about other elements. So I cut out triangles, and I thought that would be kind of fun to add some interest. And you know how I did that, friends? I didn't even use my pencil. I cut on a diagonal, and then I cut straight on a vertical piece of paper like this. Isn't that cool? And so just keep doing that and build up all of your details on your work so that your buildings will come to life. So once you have all of your detail pieces cut out, you want to go ahead and lay them out on your building so that you can start gluing them on. And some pieces like this I glue behind, some I glue in front. Again, it's your design, however you need it to look, you will. You want to see the castle? Here's the castle, right? So I've glued those pieces on. So yeah, just lay out your others and start gluing all of those little pieces onto your buildings. And remember, with glue, I think you guys have glue sticks, but a little dab will do. You don't need to put a ton on there. But if you do happen to get some where you don't want it, remember, it will dry clear, so there's no reason to panic. You are good. All right, you want to do that with all of your details. All right, so you have glued all of your details onto your buildings, and now it's time to figure out how you want to arrange them on your background. This is where your cityscape really begins to take shape. So I have my tower over here, and I think I want it over on that side, and I've been thinking about where I want my Eiffel Tower, and I want it on my right side, but I want it pretty high up. Now, that leaves a lot of blank space, but remember, I've got my castle. So I'm gonna put my castle on top of that. And I kind of like that it's a little off center there, so I'm going to keep that. And then there's this building, and I really like how it turns out. I like the bright colors, I like how funky the pattern is. So rather than put it behind my castle, I'm actually going to put it in front of my castle. Now, I haven't glued anything down yet. I'm just kind of dry fitting it. And now that I know that this is what I like, this is how I'm going to glue it. But remember, we need to take these away first, glue those that are in the background down, and then glue these on top. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun creating your abstract cityscape in the style of Mary Blair. For those of you early finishers, if you've got some leftover scraps, you can make an abstract landscape, and the directions for this and the directions for your abstract Mary Blair collage can be found in your art activity kit. So make sure that you share your artwork with us. We love to see what you create. See you next time. Bye-bye.